Hello and how are you? My name is Mahindo Bark and I welcome you to our ninth lecture of learning how to make mobile applications using Flutter. So in the previous lecture, we were able to cover all these things that you're seeing on your screen. So today we're going to take it from there and proceed. Today we're going to look at stateful widgets. So in Flutter, there are two main widgets. There is two main types of widgets. One is called stateless widget and another one is called stateful widget. Stateless widget is the widget that is going to have static information that is not going to change during the execution of that widget. For example, the screens that I've been doing, for example, this screen, you'll see that everything that we open with there is what is there. Nothing is going to change and maybe update the user interface. So that's what we call stateful widget. So stateless widget. Stateless widget is the widget without state, like it will open and the user interface will not change. So this user interface will remain as it is. It will not change. That is what we call stateless widget. So stateful widget is the one where we may need to change the user interface when the user is using the application. Let's say that you want to do a calculator. So maybe a user, when he adds 1 plus 1, you want to display for them 2. So there you may need to use a what? A stateful widget. So stateful widget is the one that will need to update the interface when the application is running. Let's say that you want to download information from the internet and display it on the screen. Let's say that you want to show, maybe perform some logic in background and then maybe show the results to the user or on their screen. That's what we call stateful widget. So you should always know in your minds that there are two types of widgets: stateless widget and stateful widget. Stateless widget is the one which does not have state, like everything will remain as it is on the screen until you reload that screen. Then stateful widget is the one that you may be able to change something in the screen. So in your mind, you should always know that there are those two types of widgets. One is called stateless widget, another one is called stateful widget. So stateful widget, we have said, it is when you may need to update the screen, whereby the stateless widget is the one that you will not need to update the screen, like the information will remain as it is. For example, this thing that we've been doing, like this one, the one you're seeing here, it is what? It is a stateless widget. So we are going to see how we can do a stateful widget where we may need to do what, maybe to update the screen. Okay, we're going to see how we can do that kind of widget, and maybe we change something in the screen while the application is executing. So as you can see, all this time we've been using this kind of widget. For example, let me open this last one that we did. You see, it is a what? It is a stateless widget. It extends stateless widget. So I'm going to create a stateful widget where we're going to demonstrate and see how we can update the screen when the application is executing. So I'll come here and right click and say number 10, file number 10, and call it stateful widget. Maybe we can say introduction to stateful widget, and then say .dat. Okay, so that is our stateful widget that we're going to demonstrate. So if you want to create stateful widget, just open an empty screen and then write STF. You'll see they'll suggest for you stateful widget code. You see, stateful. So if you just see this code, just press enter. You'll see they'll be able to do what? To give you the widget of stateful widget. Okay, so it will extend stateful widget. So I can go ahead and put here the name of my class. Okay, just go ahead and put there the name of your class. For example, it's going to be stateful, and then I remove this one, widget, and then I come and put here intro, and then I come and put here maybe remove this one, that, and put screen. Okay, so I'm going to explain these things. as if someone wants to join the class. All right, so there we are. So we'll go ahead and import the missing libraries, missing packages by pressing Alt and Enter, and then say import. Then we'll see they'll import the missing packages. So I'm going to explain these few things so you can be able to understand what is going on here. So I can collapse here. So when you wrote Stateful Widget, it was able to create for us these three things. These two classes. This first class, this first one, and then the second class one. The second class. Okay, so there are two classes in Stateful Widget. The first one and the second one. So this first class, we have just given it a name. Okay, and then we say it extends Stateful Widget. And then open curly bracket and then close it here. Then you can put a constant and then say the name of this same name that you put here, and then you say this same name that you've put here is the one that you come and put here for the constructor, and then you accept this kind of this key that will be sent to here. But this key is optional, you can as well remove it. And then after you override state, and then you pass this same screen or the same class that you've created here. And then you say create state, and then you point at underscore, and then the same name of your of the widget, and then you say stateful, and then the same name of your widget, and then you add the word state. Okay, you see this is the same name of our widget here. I'll just add that state. So this is the state that is going to be static, and that's going to extend the stateless, and then this one is the stateful widget that will be updating. Okay. And then after you come in and create now this class that you just overridden here, that you're calling here, you come and create it here, and you make it extend state, and then you pass the same class that you created here, and then you pass it here, and then you override on build. Then you override the build. So this build is where our widget or our data will be, or the thing that you see on the screen. This is where they will be. So in simple terms, that is a stateless widget. Stateful widget. So we have this stateful that extends to, we have this stateless, stateful widget. You have the name of our class that extends to to stateful widget. And then you create this other stateless, the state now itself. So this state is where we're going to put our data. This is where the information will be changing. And this is how you do you put. So if I run everything, you just simply write like this, STL, and then you'll see stateful. So they'll help you to suggest for you, and then you press enter, and then you start writing the name of your class without even changing anything. Start writing the name of the class. For example, I can write here the name of this class as Stateful Widget, or I can say maybe Stateful Widget introduction screen, like this. Okay, and then press escape. So by doing like that, to be able to do to achieve the same thing that I've done. So you'll see this is nothing. For example, if I copy this and then I search it, Ctrl F, you'll see this is just nothing apart from just two classes. And this second class is a stateless, is a state that accepts this first that you create, and then it is being called here with the on create. So that is all about the stateless widget. So about the structure of the stateless widget, there are just two classes. One is the stateful, another one is the state itself. So here the on override building, it is where we're going to do it's where we're going to be putting our our data, or the thing that we want to see on the screen. Okay, so I can go ahead and maybe put here our scaffold. So you still remember scaffold. So I'll go ahead and put here scaffold like this. Let me first remove this. Sorry, let me first remove this placeholder. So here, so this is where we're going to put the widget. Okay. Okay. Let us first delete everything, and then this is just a placeholder. Okay. So we're going to navigate this screen, and then we'll do everything as we are doing that, as we're updating live. So I'll save. So after doing that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this stateful widget introduction to our home page. So I'm going to come here to this home page here. I'm going to add here, like if someone clicks on it, it should take them to this screen. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. We all know how to do that. We'll just simply come to our home screen here, and then after we'll go ahead and duplicate. I'll come on top here. I'll come and duplicate one of these ones. For example, I'll come and duplicate this list time. Let me duplicate it, and then after I'll go ahead and put here our class that we just created. Press Alt and Enter, so it should be imported. And then come after, I'll come here and put what? I'll put the name of what I want to see here as a title. So I can call it maybe Stateful Widget Introduction. Okay. Like this, something like that. Okay. So all right, so I'll save and then update, and then we'll be able to see here that we are going to have this stateful widget here in this home. So I want when someone clicks here, it should go to this screen of stateful introduction widget. So let's go ahead and click there. You can see we're going to that screen, but you could know the screen is having nothing apart from what? From the placeholder. So what we're going to do, we're going to change this placeholder and put there our own content. Okay. So I'll press Ctrl and click on it so I can go there. So this is the placeholder. I'll remove this placeholder including the constant, and then go ahead and start putting what I want. So I can put the scaffold. And then inside the scaffold, I'll put the up bar, and then the container, this copilot is disturbing me. So I have to close this bracket. I think I have to write here. Like this here. So I've just done nothing. I hope you know how to do such a small thing by writing your app bar and then making it have a body of a container and then making it have a column of what? And this is the column that you just added, and then yeah, I hope you know how to do this. Okay, can separate this one with commas so it can be well arranged, something like that. So if I save, I'll be able to see my scaffold there with something like that, stateful widget introduction. Okay, so that's it. I hope you now understand what is going on right now. So you've seen that this is just these are just two classes. However, for the stateless widget, it's just one class. But here we have now two classes. All right. So after doing that, we're going to go ahead and see now how we can demonstrate the state itself. Okay. We are going to see how we can demonstrate the state. How can we change the data in the screen? Okay. So we're going to need a button that we're going to use to click on, and then we be able to test something. Okay, so I think we have some button here, a material button, this one here. I can come and copy it, or let me copy both of them. As they are here. I hope you know how to create buttons. So I'll come and put them here in this column. So I hope I've not confused you. This is just a row that has two buttons, okay? So I can come and say btn 1, and then I'll remove everything that is here. On press, I remove, and then I come here, I remove this toast. And then come and also, this is the, I'll come and call this one btn2, like this. All right, so we have our 2 buttons there. Okay, if I save, we'll have 2 buttons there. So we have 2 buttons there. We have button 1 and then button 2. So all right, so after doing that, we want to be able to see how we can update state. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to call this one increase. Okay, or let me just put a plus, and then I call this one decrease with a what? With the minus. Okay, so let me try to space them by putting here a sized box and put 8 or 15 or maybe 25. All right, so here I'm going to maybe make here a variable that are going to be increasing, let's say maybe 1, and then I'm going to increase its size and make it size 50. So I've just increased its size and make it size 50. So that's hope that is self-explanatory. So I want, when I click here, it should increase, and when I click here, it should decrease. So that's what we want to do right now. Okay, I hope you're understanding. All right, I hope you're understanding. So let's go ahead. Maybe here I can put here maybe an icon as a child, and then also come here and put what? An icon. Like this. All right, so we'll have a beautiful UI like that one. You want here, when you click here, it should remove. When you click here, it should increase. So, and want to be changing this value. Okay, so once we do that, it means that we'll have elaborated that we can update the state, or we can update the screen when the system is what? Is running. So before we were not able to do that, but right now we want to see how we can update that screen. So let's proceed. So we need something that is going to be changing. So you see this one, it cannot change, it is a constant. So we want something that can change. So what is the thing that can change? Of course, it is a what? It is a variable. A variable is something that can vary, something that can change anytime. So I'm going to create a variable that is going to have maybe 0 by default. And then when we click here, that variable should increase, and I click here, this variable should decrease. So let's go ahead and create a variable. So I'll come here on top of this override, and then I create a variable. Okay, so to create a variable of integer, just simply write int and then say maybe, and give this variable a name. Maybe I can say my counter. Okay, something like that, and then I initialize this variable to 0. Okay, so after doing that, I'm going to put this variable on the screen. I'm going to display it in the screen. So how will I display it in the screen? I'll copy the variable, the name of the variable, and then I come here where there is this one, and then I remove it. So if I want to display something in the screen, I'll put $, and then open curly bracket. If you still remember the Dart programming, and then put there the value that I want to display. So if I save, it is going to be what? This is going to be 0 here, because our variable is 0. So I want, when I click here, this variable should increase, and when I click here, this variable should decrease. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to come to the listeners of this plus, and then after, we want, like, when you click on this plus, it should decrease. When you click on this minus, it should decrease. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll copy this, and then I'll come here to this 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 button of increase, I'll come into it here, right? And then I'll go ahead and say my counter plus, like this. So I know when I say plus, this counter will do what? Will increase. And then I'll come also down here to where there is decrease, and then I say my counter minus minus. So that one will make the button do what? Decrease. So if I come here and I click on plus plus, you see it is increasing. Okay, but we are not able to see how it is increasing on the screen. You see, we are clicking on there, we are not seeing any error, but it is not increasing on the screen. And even though you click on the minus, it's not decreasing on the screen. So what do? So the problem here is we are not updating the state. So you can change a variable. The point is you can change a variable as how you want, but you can only update it on the screen only when you do what? When you want. So if you want to update this on the screen, there's one important function that you have to call. And if you call it, it will be able to update the what? The screen. So I want here, after increasing the variable, I want to update the screen, or to update what we call the state. So to update the state, you just simply say set state like this. And then you see an option, okay? So set state will just simply be set state in this format, and then you open bracket, and then you open other bracket, and then put curly bracket inside, and like this. So you can as well put this one inside here. It has no problem, okay? As long as when it is, most especially when it is one line, you always put it outside there. So what's going to happen here is we are increasing, and then after increasing, we update the screen. This is the one that will update the screen. So I can copy this and also come and put it here after decreasing. So after decreasing, I go ahead and update the what? The screen. So if I save and update my screen, I'll be able to see some changes on the screen. So you see we had reached 12, but we are not able to see it. So if I now come here and click on minus, you'll be able to see that when I click on minus, it is decreasing this and then also update the what? The screen. You see? So I'm able to update my screen. When I click on the plus, it is increasing. Okay? When I click on the minus, it is decreasing like this. Okay? So that is how you update the state. So it's only the stateful widget that can give you ability to do this. Otherwise, if you don't have the stateful widget, you will not be able to do what? To achieve such a beautiful thing. So this is very, very important. You must make sure that you understand at this point. If you don't understand, please rewatch a video, make more searches, and make sure that you don't proceed from here without understanding. Otherwise, if you proceed from here without understanding, then it means that your applications are going to be useless. They're not going to be very powerful because you cannot update something on the screen when the user is using it. So that is all about, that's all about the introduction to stateful widget. So there are so many things that we may need to know about stateful widget as we proceed. And then, but the whole point here is how you create a what? A stateful widget. So I hope you've seen and you now know how to create a stateful widget. So that is how you do it. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to do another thing. For example, we're going to make maybe a simple calculator where you can add two numbers and then display the answer. Okay, we're going to make a simple calculator where you can add, for example, two numbers and then do what? And then display the answer. All right, so let's go ahead and see how you can do that. So maybe from there, you can be able to understand much more things about what? About stateful widgets. So let's go ahead and do it. See? So let's go ahead and do a simple calculator. So let's go ahead and do a simple calculator. So I'll go ahead and just duplicate this stateful widget. This one, I'm going to duplicate this file, and this one I'm going to base on to do what? To create a calculator. All right, let's go ahead and do that. So I'll come here and then I duplicate this file, copy, and this file, this last file, and then come and call it number 11, and then I call it stateful widget calculator. Okay, calculator, or an example of calculator. Okay, so I'll press enter. Okay, so now we have here this stateful widget. It's this one. Okay, so after doing that, I'll come here and rename this. Okay, so to rename this, there is a way how you may need to rename, like all of them, they should update. What you do, you copy this whole word with the screen, copy it, and then find it, Ctrl F. After finding it, then you're going to do what we call multi-edit. So every part where there is this word, it should be able to be edited. To do multi-edit, you press Alt and Enter. So when you press Alt and Enter, you'll be able to edit in different lines. Okay, let me repeat it. I'm going to copy the name of this. Remember, I'm in this file number 11. We're going to do a calculator. I'm going to copy the whole name, class name, and then I find it. After copying it, Ctrl C, I find it, Ctrl F, and then to do multi-line edit, I press Alt and Enter. Then I'll be able to do multi-line edit. So I'm going to come here and call it maybe stateful widget. Instead of putting intro, I'm going to put calculator screen. I hope that's the spelling of calculator. Okay, so I'll come here and change this one maybe and call it maybe calculator. Okay, let me call it calculator like this. So after saving, we're going to now connect this one to our home page, so that when someone clicks on the home page, you should be able to come to this stateful calculator that we're talking about. So what shall we do? We'll come to our home screen and then come and duplicate this guy, this one here. After duplicating it, I'm going to call it stateful widget. I'm going to just call it calculator, and then I can maybe put and then I'll come here and put the relevant icon. Maybe you can say, let me see if I have a calculator icon. I'll go with that. Then I come here and change the what? The screen here. Instead of putting stateful widget, I'm going to put I remember I had copied the other class name. I'll come and put it here. Okay, I'll press Alt and Enter like this. Good. So all right, so after doing that, let's go ahead and now click here. All right, then we'll have that one. Okay, so how are we going to design our calculator? There are so many ways of how I can design a calculator. I'm going to just put maybe here the first value and followed by the second. Okay, I'm going to put the first input followed by the second input, and maybe the sign, and then this plus or minus, okay, and division and subtraction. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to need data collectors, which is the form. So I'm going to just simply put here my two rows. I'm going to put here my row. Sorry, I'll come here, the calculator. Okay, let's make it just a simple one. We're going to put value 1, value 2, and then be performing and an answer. Okay, so this is what I just copied from the other side. Okay, so I'm just going to come here and put our simple form that's going to collect value 1 and value 2 and then get an answer. Right, so let's go ahead and do that faster. So all right, we'll go now to our form builder. So we can come here, form builder. Remember, we already have a package, form builder, and I'm going to collect just text field, and then there I'm going to put here the name and say maybe this one is going to be called what? I can call it value 1 like this. Okay, and then I can put here something like maybe we just need that only. Okay, value 1. Let's give it a label. Okay, so to give it a label, we need a what? Decoration, and give it a label. I can call it value 1 like this. All right. So I hope that's okay. Yes. So have here value 1 like that. Okay. So I'll go ahead and copy this and then come and put here value 2. Okay, so and then I want now to be able to put here value 1 value 1 and then the sign and then the answer. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'll come here. All right, so that's it. I think that's it. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to collect these values. So we're going to create a variable that will collect the value 1 and the one that will collect the value 2. So let me go ahead and put here value 2. So let's go ahead and create those variables. So I come here and maybe I change this one to become an answer, and then I'll come here and collect value 1 and then value 1 and then value 2, something like that. Just a simple calculator, right? So I want I want to collect, for example, this value 1. So how can you collect that value 1? One way is to listen to the on-change listener, so that when the value inside here changes, we should be able to do what? To collect that value. So how do we do that? We'll just simply come here to this first text field and put on change listener, open bracket, and then it will be like that. So on change listener, it will give us a value and then say value equals to int pass, and then I pass the value. I just simply put here to what? To string, like this. So that's how we'll collect the what? The value 1. I hope you've understood this. Okay. So when something will be changing here, we'll be getting this value 1. So the next thing is what? We can go ahead and put here what? We can go ahead and put here accepting only what? We can say that we need only to accept the integers, because someone can enter wrong things. So to do that, we just simply put the input type. You still remember the input type, keyboard type or input type? Keyboard type, and we give the keyboard of numbers only. All right. So I'll come and copy these two things and then come and paste them here in this value 2. I mean this second position. So this is going to be value 2. Okay. So when something will be changing here, we'll be updating the value 2. So after that, you're going to put here our answer. You remember we changed the other variable and called it what? An answer. So now we need to perform the logic. All right. We need to perform the what? The logic. So what shall we do? So when someone clicks on plus, the answer is going to be value 1 plus value 2. All right. Okay, value 1 plus value 2, and then you get the answer and then update the state. You get it, right? Value 1 plus value 2, get the answer, keep it here, and then update the state. And you know the answer is inside here. So when you update the state, it will be able to update it here. So I can copy this guy and then come and put it here in the minus. So answer is going to be value 1 minus value 2. And then you update the what? The state. We store that value in the answer and then update the state. So, all right, that's it. So if I come here and click on plus, of course, nothing will happen. So if I come here and put 20, and I come here and I put 11, and then I click on plus, you'll see 20 plus 11 equals to. So if I click here, now 20 minus 11 equals to 9. So that's a simple calculator, but you can do better. You can present the number, I mean the sign that has been clicked on, something like that. For example, I can come here and say maybe you can make it as much more interesting as you want. So I can say maybe sign, put here a string and say maybe sign, and maybe by default is nothing. So after doing that, you come here and you put these things here, right? Here in the answer here. Okay. So you put here $sign and put here maybe value 1 and then value 1 and then again put $sign and then put the answer, I mean the sign, and then $sign, then put value 2 and then you say equals 2. Okay. So we want now when someone will be clicking here the sign, we update this sign. So if someone clicks on the plus, I want this sign to store a plus inside it. All right. So I want when someone click on a minus, this sign should be storing a minus like this. So I save and I click on a plus. You see, I click on a plus. 20 plus 11 equals to that. I click on a minus. This is got that. You see, like this. You get it. Eh? So I can go ahead and do for division and subtraction. Let's go ahead and do for division. So let us make division the last ones. So I can come here and put for division. So I go ahead and put here what? Divide. Is it? that's the divider. All right, the division sign, okay? And then you come here and quote the multiplication sign. All right, so when someone divides, we'll just simply put a division. But one thing with division, you cannot divide with less with 0. So I'll first check if is not what is not 0. If value 2 is not 0, that's when I'll do what? I'll divide. Okay. You can do that. You can first check before you even do that. So right, let's go ahead and put here what? And then we change the sign here to be a division sign. How can you get a division sign? Division sign. Is it on the keyboard though? I don't know. I don't see it. Let's put this. Alright. So let's go ahead and do the same for this one. You can put multiplication. So I can come here and put icon dot. It's star. I don't know that is star, or maybe multiply. I don't know whether that icon is there. Let's call it times. I don't know whether that is there. The times, it's not there. So there. Okay, let's put just our text. All right, so you can as well put here the text instead of an icon. Divide. All right, so here we'll just simply put multiplication and then put here division. So by doing like that, we'll have come up with our simple calculator, but with the power of what? Of what? The power of so what did you remove? We remove the minus. And these one are so attached. Remove the minus. Can bring it back. Alright. We got this. So it's going to be minus without wasting much time. And then put here minus. And then put here minus. That's all. Alright, so there we'll have got our simple calculator. So you click here, it gives you plus, you click there, it gives you minus, you click there, it gives you minus times, you click there, it gives you division. So you come here and change, like this. So go ahead, okay. Is it divider? Is this division working? Where's the division? This divide by this is supposed to be divider, not good there. How do you divide? Okay, we have to pass them to integers. Int parse, int dot parse, and then put these guys, and then put them to string. All right, so that's it. That's our simple calculator, as you can see. Division is not working. I think you just need to typecast it. Let's typecast it here with an int like this. Hope that will work. Okay. That's how I can get the integer from the division. All right, that's the whole point. So you divide by that, multiply, divide, So that's it. That's it. So you don't know how you can update your own state. Go ahead and give yourself so many challenges. Search from other teachers what they're teaching about state management. Just simple state management. Don't make it so much complicated. Then in the next class, we'll go ahead and look at how you can make dynamic lists, how you can make something that is really dynamic, like a to-do list. You add something, it goes in your list, and you see you can remove it. That's what we'll make in the next class. So make sure that you don't miss, and make sure that you understand all the points here, even though they may seem to be a little bit complicated, but make sure that nothing's complicated to you, because they are not magic. Mean that you can go ahead and do what and understand them. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, so when we upload the next video, you're updated. And make sure that you practice without just watching and practicing. I think in the next class we'll start working with GitHub and see how we can upload this source code. So all right, that's it for today. Let's meet in the next class, and make sure please don't miss, and make sure that you practice. I've repeated the same things because I want not you to just watch, but I want you to watch as you learn. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, and goodbye. See you in the next class. We're going to learn more interesting things, and that's the dynamic lists.